outstanding espresso drinks, coffees, sweets, and so much more at Beans and Brews, especially at their newest location in downtown San Antonio. And they have pastries. They also have these sandwiches right here, and there's a variety of different options. They're grilled cheese. Look at this thing, gooey. You can also get a bagel. You can load it up your way. This one, ham, egg, and cheese, gooey as well. This one on there, a cilantro pesto on there. That's really, really nice. And of course, avocado toast, a classic option. And there's so many different drinks to choose from. You can get mocha drinks, splashes of cream in there. You can also get espresso thrown right on top of this one right here with some syrup in there. It gets blended up, and check this out. Once it's all blended, it gets cookies added in there. This is their B&B Cookie Monster Frappe. You can also get their energy drinks and a variety of different flavors as well. These are iced delicious drinks packed full of energy. Their espresso float drinks start with their frozen base and then a shot of espresso right on top. You can also grab their popular Mr. B, which has espresso in there. It has their white cocoa base, and it also has cream on top. You can get caramel on there. Load it up. Try all the different offerings on there. Address on the screen. Multiple locations in San Antonio. Go check out their newest location in downtown. But man, just go out there and try these drinks. I tell you what, they're all rocking. So delicious. This is a cheese-crusted barbacoa melt available at Bilia Eatery, and that is in Castle Hills, located right outside San Antonio. The sandwich itself is amazing, and then it gets the costro, right? It gets the crust on the outside, Monterey Jack cheese, and it is gooey. Look at this thing. On the inside, loaded up with flavor, everything made fresh in-house, and look at the cheese pool on this thing. Absolutely insane. They have Cuban sandwiches on the menu, Latin fusion. Y'all gotta go check them out. Bilia Eatery. This is where it's at. Just an outstanding spot. Chef Brian Rojas is just doing an amazing job. Address on the screen.
Good Friday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Justin Horn with a look at your Friday forecast. And just know it is going to be very hot today. We're expecting some record high temperatures, 89 by 4 o'clock. That would be a record. The old record is 88. And we'll see clear skies this evening if you have outdoor plans. Looks beautiful. Saturday will be warm too. Near record heat Saturday, but it's Sunday where we get the changes. Front comes through pre-dawn on Sunday, and boy, will it feel different. 67, windy. And we'll shave off about 20 degrees or so from that high temperature there on Saturday, so don't get caught off guard. Those winds will be very, very gusty, gusting 40 to 45 miles per hour potentially Sunday morning. So make sure you secure all those inflatables or whatever you have in your front yard. Know that winds will slowly subside as we get into Sunday night, which will set the stage for some cold temperatures. Now, before that happens, gusty winds and very dry air will present a significant fire threat on Sunday. So we got to be awful careful during the afternoon on Sunday. Then we get into Monday morning and temperatures drop to 37 here in San Antonio. Some places in the hill country could be near freezing. So it will be quite a change. Monday and Tuesday morning both will be chilly. 67 Sunday, 63 Monday, but do look for a rapid warm up by the middle part of next week.
From KSAT 12, the news at noon starts right now.
Today at noon, a murder mystery near a local school. What we're learning about the investigation. And the temperature roller coaster continues. Meteorologist Shelby Ebertowski standing by to help you plan your weekend. But first, travel troubles. Starting today, thousands of travelers across the nation are wondering if their flights will stay on time. This comes as the government shutdown has forced the FAA to shut down 10% of flights at 40 of the nation's busiest airports. Devin Karp live at the San Antonio International Airport with a look at what that means here at home. Devin.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Yeah, we haven't seen lines that have been hours long like we have at some airports. Right over here at baggage claim, you can see people. We're still waiting on some stuff to get in over here from Charlotte and Dallas, Fort Worth. Dallas, one of the cities that's been affected by this. While the wait time is sitting around 15 minutes upstairs to get through TSA, problems could come from connections at other airports if you're not flying directly from San Antonio to your final destination. The government shutdown has put a strain on air traffic controllers who who are already working long hours due to workforce shortages in the industry, says the Federal Aviation Administration. And now the FAA is telling 40 of the country's busiest airports to shut down about 10% of their flight. This list includes other airports in Texas, like the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, Dallas-Love Field, George Bush Intercontinental in Houston, and the Hobby Airport in Houston. So far, we've seen about 1 cancellation today in San Antonio and 2 on Sunday. But the San Antonio airport has largely been unaffected by some of these delays, according to some passengers we've spoken with.
I didn't experience anything like what the news said. I feel like we're in a bubble in San Antonio, though.
In a statement sent to us by the San Antonio International Airport, they said while this city did not make the list of affected airports, effects still could roll on to passengers in the future. In the meantime, airlines like Delta, Southwest, United have announced they're going to start rolling out more flight cancellations starting today and building up all the way through next week. If you head over to KSAT.com, that's where we've got a list of those 40 airports affected by this and where you can find specifically what San Antonio flights have been affected at home. We're going to keep tracking this for as long as we need to over here at KSAT. For now, I'll send it back to you all live at the San Antonio International Airport. I'm Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thanks, Devin. Yes, definitely keeping an eye on that. Look outside at live cam. We're also keeping an eye on the temperatures because, Shelby, we've just got a couple more days of warm afternoons until that cold front hits.
I know that weather roller coaster is coming to the Alamo City, so everyone get aboard. Temperatures today and tomorrow getting into the 80s, even near 90 degrees before that cold front comes through later this week. But if you're going out and about today, it's still going to be warm. 89 degrees is your peak temperature throughout most of the Alamo City, still seeing those dry conditions and sunnier skies. This afternoon, we're expected to still stay in the 80s at least, but other areas getting to the 90s. 90 degrees in Pleasanton and Austin, 92 in Uvalde, 94 Carrizo Springs, 95 in areas near Cotulla. Now today is still going to be warm. In fact, we are going to be within just a degree above our record that was set back in 2005. But not only are we seeing the heat today, we're also seeing the heat being possible tomorrow. Our forecast is about 88 degrees, and we're only going to be 2 degrees shy of our record that was 90 degrees set back in 1989. And if you don't like the heat, don't worry, there's changes coming in on the weather forecast. Now, the headlines today, we're still going to be one of the hottest places in the United States today before that cold front comes through Sunday and really Saturday night into Sunday. It's going to be very windy, having some cooler conditions. Coldest mornings are expected to be on Monday and Tuesday in the 30s. Some areas might see that freezing temperature, but the cold front is also bringing that possibility of some fire danger and that fire weather. I'll give you a forecast on what you can expect throughout the weekend coming up in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Shelby. Well, San Antonio police are trying to solve a murder mystery that seems to have happened in the middle of a street. They say someone shot and killed a woman just steps away from the Carver Cultural Community Center and a school. Katrina Weber tells us from the scene that classes continued.
Seems like it's back to business as usual here at Idea Carver. You can hear and see the children out here in the playground. This is after real-life drama unfolded right here in the streets just beyond their gates. Police got called to Center Street near Hackberry a little bit after 5 o'clock in the morning. This is not only near Idea Carver, but also on the backside of the Carver Cultural Community Center. They say a neighbor found a woman on the ground, possibly in her 20s or 30s. Police realized she had been shot and killed. They're still not sure exactly why. Police told me they don't have any suspects in mind at this point. They're hoping to learn more from surveillance video that they will get from these businesses. Reporting from the east side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thanks, Katrina. Right now, happening live, you're looking at another live shot here on the news at noon, a pep rally to recognize the approval of Propositions A and B. On Election Day, approximately 52% of voters supported Proposition B, which moves forward those plans for the downtown San Antonio Spurs Arena. Almost 56% of voters supported Proposition A, which preserves the Frost Bank Center and the adjacent Freeman Coliseum grounds. Centro San Antonio, Visit San Antonio, District 3 Councilwoman Phyllis Villagran, and other city officials are all at this event that you're watching right now. Lots of speakers, one after the other. Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones expected to deliver remarks as well. We are live streaming this pep rally online, so if you want to go to our website or KSAT Plus, you can listen in. Well, new details this noon. A 60-year-old man has died after at least one driver ran him over. We reached out to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office just a few hours ago, and they tell us that victim was a 77-year-old man. It all happened just before 8 last night at Kitty Hawk and Crestway Roads. That's near Converse. BCSO says a driver hit the man, and at the time, he was already laying on the ground. Deputies said that's not clear why that was happening, so that's where their investigation is headed next. Meantime, the driver that hit him stayed and called for help. The 77-year-old man was taken to the hospital, where he later died. New at noon, the defense calling another expert witness to the stand in the trial of 3 former San Antonio police officers accused in the 2023 killing of Melissa Perez. She's the woman who was shot and killed in her apartment while having what's been called a mental health episode. This morning, Dr. Ron Martinelli took the stand for a second day in a row. Martinelli is a forensic criminologist. He testified that the officer's actions the night Perez was killed were justified. If found guilty, former SAPD officers Eleazar Alejandro, Alfred Flores, and Nathaniel Villalobos face up to life in prison. We are live streaming the trial. Testimony is live right now. You can watch it on all of our streaming platforms. The 2025 Veterans Day Parade is tomorrow, but it will look a little different this year. Active Army and Navy service members, who are a big part of this parade, had to cancel this year because of the government shutdown. So about 50 troops will not be there. There are about 90 entries this year. That includes high school bands, floats, equestrian groups, and VFW organizations. Veterans say it brings a lot of joy and pride to see Military City USA come out and cheer them on from the sideline.
So for us, we all remember that very first day when we all went to boot camp, did our military service, got out, and just the immense amount of pride that we have, and that I like to share with other service members. I happen to be in the Marine Corps, and this year, along with the Navy and the Army, it's our 250th birthday. That is exciting. It's fun.
Yeah, another reason this year's event will look different, organizers have added the inaugural Veterans 5K run. The run starts at 10:30 a.m. and uses the same route as the parade. There's a fee to run in person or virtually, and you'll get a medal and a t-shirt. The parade starts at noon at Milam Park. It'll go down Houston Street, turn onto Jefferson to Veterans Memorial Plaza. Be sure to take a blanket and a folding chair and head to KSAT.com for information and times. And here's another way you can support our local veterans. This is an art auction and display of the work done at the Warriors Heart Gallery. This includes paintings, sculpture, woodwork, and even audio recordings. You have until tomorrow, Saturday the 8th, to see the work for yourself and make a bid on it. It's at the Grunt Style store at downtown at 900 Broadway. The auction will benefit 2 different veterans organizations that both focus on helping those struggling with addiction and mental health. That's Irreverent Warriors and Warriors Heart. Head to KSAT.com for a link to learn about these organizations. Just search veterans. It is a yearly tradition for a lot of people heading to Worst Fest in New Braunfels. And it always takes some planning, but this year, the day you choose to go could have a big impact on those plans. We're helping you get ready this noon. And the White is making deals with major drug companies. How this will affect prices and some popular medications. With Veterans Day coming up, we're rounding up some Veterans Day deals. How you can score coming up in just a couple of minutes. Lots of local businesses celebrating Veterans Day this upcoming Tuesday with some deals. Veterans and active military can get free food, services, so much more. So now's the time to open up the camera on your phone, scan the QR code. It'll take you to our website where we have a long list of deals for veterans. There are discounts at Pluckers, Whataburger, Six Flags, and Target, just to name a few. Also, as a reminder, city offices will be closed for Veterans Day, but trash and recycling services will continue as normal. And the weather on Veterans Day, Shelby, is going to be far different than it is today.
It is going to be very different, not only because of the temperatures, but what we're also watching is just the day-to-day changes in the pollen count. Yesterday we only had molds, but today we have fall elm and ragweed, and the winds this weekend are expected to pick a few things more up and around the atmosphere. But otherwise, some good news is the aquifer's up 0.3 of a foot, and if you're going out this weekend to Worst Fest, it is still going to be a little bit of a toasty day tomorrow before that cold front comes through. Feeling beautiful on Sunday and Monday. Just some slightly breezy winds on Sunday. I'll give you a look at the futurecast with that fire danger this weekend coming up after the break.
Well, the countdown is on, and we are hours away from the start of the annual Worst Fest in New Braunfels. The 10-day festival kicks off at 4 o'clock today. So if you've ever been, you know it's all about music, sausage, and beer, rooted in the German heritage of the city. The festival began in 1961 when a local meat inspector got the idea to give the 19 local sausage makers a chance to show off their product. What started as a one-day event with roughly 2,000 people in attendance has now grown to the 10-day festival, attracting more than 200,000 people to Landa Park. So tickets are on sale online and at the gate. So the festival hours, they vary by day. Today's first Friday hours are 4 to 11 p.m. at 178 Landa Park Drive in New Braunfels. So you can get in free Monday through Thursday. Now tomorrow's hours are from 11 a.m. to midnight and Sunday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. So Monday through Thursday hours are 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. At the gate, tickets cost about $20 on Fridays and Sundays. Saturday tickets, though, are $30. And of course, you can save money if you purchase online, where prices are $15 on Fridays and Sundays and $25 on Saturdays. Well, for more information on parking, scheduled performances, and traffic notices, you can head over to our website at KSAT.com.
I was just telling Shelby about all the food she has to eat at Worst Fest.
I know.
So good. Because you haven't been, right?
I haven't.
Okay. Yes. We're making her a list of all the food.
Yes. I was told in my ear about the pretzels.
Yes. Yes. And then they've got like the potato pancake. Okay. We'll get into it. We don't have time for this whole thing, but if you know, you know, right?
Yes.
But anyway, beautiful weather for that. We
Yes.
also have events tonight. We're sending Kasky out for some of the events.
Yeah, so there's a lot to do in San Antonio. I mean, there's high school football, there's Worst Fest. I think there's a parade for Veterans Day this weekend as well. So there's plenty to do in San Antonio. If you can do some of the activities today or tomorrow, I would highly recommend it, especially because this weekend we're going to be seeing a little bit of a change in the forecast, especially on Sunday. But today, although it's still going to be warm at about 89 degrees, it's still going to be beautiful once that sun starts to set. We're still going to see those clear skies persist for most of us and throughout the day. And in fact, today we have the possibility of beating our old record for our peak temperature that was set back in 2005. And Adam Kasky is going to be live today at the Frontier Bowl for the Harlandale Memorial Stadium. And once that sun starts to go down, it's really going to cool down. Our temperatures already in the 70s once that sun really starts to set. And that sun is setting before 6 p.m. now. But this weekend, we're tracking that cold front moving through. It's not going to be a weak cold front like what we saw last weekend that brought the rain. We're expecting a strong cold front that's bringing our peak temperatures down to the 60s and even the 50s for some, while you're waking up in the 30s. But here's the caveat. Although this cold front is going to be very gorgeous with the temperatures, it's also still going to bring that chance for some fire danger because that humidity is really going to get pushed all the way down to the south and even down off of the coast near the Gulf. So it's still going to be feeling very dry as that cold front moves through. And in fact, we have a fire weather watch that the National Weather Service just issued earlier today within the last hour or so for not only San Antonio, but all the way going up to Austin. Now, this just means is you are going to want to be careful and watch that possibility that we're going to see all these conditions. So if a fire does start, it is going to have that possibility of spreading fairly quickly. So we are under that fire weather watch just for the ingredients and all the potential for that fire danger Sunday. And in fact, we have that very high to even extreme chance for that fire danger, not only in San Antonio, all the way up to Austin, but down to Corpus Christi, all the way over to Houston, to Galveston, to Beaumont. So really South Texas is going to see all the ingredients of those dry conditions and the winds. We're going to see those northerly winds, which is going to allow some of that cooler air to really get pushed into Texas and South Texas, but really 45-mile-an-hour winds are possible on Sunday. The good news is most of the winds are going to be stronger in the morning, so you are still going to want to watch out, especially if you have some of those fall decorations out or even some Christmas decorations out for some folks who like to get that out early. You're maybe going to want to tie some things down. We're expecting the winds to really start in the pre-dawn Sunday mornings, go through Sunday mornings, and Sunday afternoon is when we're expecting them to really start to die down to be about 30 miles an hour, but it's still going to be feeling very dry, which is why we want to stress the caution to really be aware of your surroundings. Watch out for the cigarette butts and the chains on your trucks. Remember to pick those up because it only takes one spark to really start that fire, and especially because Sunday and even on Monday, we are going to be sitting dry, not only for us in San Antonio, but for most of us across South Texas. But after that cold front moves through, here's a look at the 7-day forecast. After that cold front moves through, we're going to be waking up Monday and Tuesday in the 30s. Some folks in the hill country might even get close to be waking up near or below freezing. We're not expecting a widespread freeze for most of us. We're not saying that, but we are watching that possibility. Some folks might get close, so you will want to remember the 4 Ps before Veterans Day on Tuesday, and the sunny skies continue throughout South Texas. And sadly, Courtney, the 80s are looking to return next week.
80s is fine. 82 is fine. I think we're good with that.
Enjoy the 60s.
Yes, I'm loving the 60s as well. All right, thank you so much. This week on Pickup Lines with Ernie Zuniga, a candid conversation with KSAT's own Adam Caskey. The longtime chief meteorologist hails from Minnesota and grew up playing ice hockey in the backyard, but he does not miss those frigid temperatures. Adam came to KSAT in 2014 and quickly became a hit with our viewers with his personality and handmade thermometers. His passion for weather dates back to his childhood when he was a young boy in Minnesota.
The superstorm of 1987 in Minneapolis, and it was just one of those big, severe thunderstorm, tornado outbreaks, and it just hooked me. I didn't want to be in our basement watching the coverage. I wanted to go outside. I wanted to go see it happening. I wanted to see what was going on.
You were a kid?
Yeah, I was 6 years old then.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's always a sign when you want to be out there for a journalist or meteorologist, for sure. In this episode, Adam also talks about meeting his wife on a kickball field years ago and talks about getting emotional during the recent 4th of July flooding event in the Hill Country. The latest episode of Pickup Lines premieres at 5:30 and replays at 7:30 this evening on the free KSAT Plus app, or you can watch it now on KSAT.com. Just search Pickup Lines. All those little photos about him. All right, dramatically lower costs for weight loss drugs, when it could happen and who it's affecting.
President Trump announcing that early next year, the price of weight loss drugs Wegovy and Zepbound will be dropping drastically, potentially impacting millions of Americans, including seniors on Medicare.
This is a triumph for American patients that will save lives and improve the health of millions and millions of Americans.
Right now, these drugs, known as GLP-1s, cost roughly $500 a month for people without insurance, making them out of reach for many Americans. But in the coming months, that price for the starter doses will fall to $350 a month and down to $250 over the next 2 years. The drugs will also soon be covered for people on Medicare who are severely obese, though not people who are simply overweight.
Just as significantly, Medicare and Medicaid will finally cover the cost of these weight loss drugs for millions of patients suffering from obesity.
Those on Medicare will pay just a $50 copay. Access will also be expanded for qualifying people on Medicaid, who could end up paying virtually nothing. With many on these drugs for life, I asked Dr. Mehmet Oz, who oversees Medicare and Medicaid, if he's confident the prices won't go back up. And you can guarantee the American people that once these costs go down, they're going to stay down.
There may be other manufacturing issues that can drive prices up and down, but I feel very confident that now we've set the standard.
It is a sobering statistic. Every single day for the past 25 years, a mom, dad, son, or daughter has died in a crash in Texas. The last day in Texas that no one died in a car crash was November 7th in the year 2000. That's why TxDOT launched its End the Street campaign to end deaths on the roadways. One of those victims, a beloved local daughter, friend, nurse, and educator, Whitney Precious Wendell, died in February of 2024 in a crash that Bexar County deputies said involved a drunk driver. RJ Marquez sat down with her mom, who is raising awareness about the campaign and keeping her daughter's memory alive.
I have a hole in my heart now that she's not here, that she's gone too soon. And she didn't need to leave the way she did.
It's never easy for Monique Presas to discuss her daughter's death, but she does so because of the strength and spirit Whitney showed every day of her life.
She was a traveler, a nurse, she was a teacher, an educator, and she loved life.
Whitney's life was cut short on the morning of February 8th. She was driving to work up Potranco Road when she was hit head-on by a driver who Bexar County deputies said was drunk.
They tried to save her, but her injuries were just too severe. Ever since then, you're just not the same person anymore. I miss her dearly.
Monique is carrying her daughter's love for life by spreading awareness about drunk driving and taking part in TxDOT's End the Street campaign.
I want to do it just to share about her life and how unnecessary it was that she's not here. The punishment doesn't fit the crime. It's too lenient. It's not harsh enough.
What do you think your daughter would think about what you're doing right now?
I think she would be proud of me and she would expect for me to be strong. I want to share her story so that hopefully this doesn't keep happening.
And that's exactly what we did. Shared stories about their travels, family life, and Whitney's accomplishments.
She went to East Central and started teaching nursing in their CNA program. And she also taught professional nursing at UIW. And then her last job that she had, Idea School Systems hired her to write their first ever nursing curriculum.
What would be the message that you have for other families?
There's a lot of opportunities to get home safely. You don't have to drive drunk. She was an amazing daughter, very caring, very thoughtful, very kind-hearted, and she's my best friend.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
In other news, President Donald Trump's administration has asked a federal appeals court to block a judge's order that would make it distribute November's full monthly SNAP food benefits. Meanwhile, with the continued lapse in food assistance, millions are in need of help right now. That's putting a strain on food banks, leaving them worried if they'll be able to meet the need. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, known as SNAP, serves 1 in 8 Americans, nearly 42 million people. It's the largest food assistance program in the country. And for every one meal provided by a food bank, SNAP provides 9 more. One mother in Ohio says she's been skipping meals to help feed her 4 children.
For the last 3 days, I have not eaten anything, to make sure they were fed. I'd rather starve, rather see them go hungry.
According to Google Trends, food bank near me is being searched more now than at any other time in Google Trends history. If you are looking for help, there are more than 30 food pantries in our community. We have a running list right here on KSAT.com, and it does not just cover Bexar County. We looked into Kendall County, Comal, Wilson, and Guadalupe counties. So right now on our website, on this here, we have the locations listed with links to their websites so you can find more information. And as we know, San Antonio, our neighbors need our help. On Monday, November 10th, KSAT Community and our partners, RBFCU and University Health, are teaming up with the San Antonio Food Bank and Meals on Wheels San Antonio for one powerful day of giving. From 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., we're collecting food and resources to help local families impacted by this government shutdown and the SNAP suspension. That donation drive is happening at the Pinstack location off of Loop 410. Drop-offs begin at 9 a.m., but you can bring your donations as early as 7 a.m. Pet food is also encouraged. Anyone who donates will also receive a $5 game card from Pinstack. So we hope you can help, and we hope to see you there. Tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., Mission Marquee Plaza is hosting Dia del Arbol, San Antonio's Texas Arbor Day celebration. There are San Antonio Parks and Recreation will give away over 1,200 free native drought-tolerant trees to help our city's urban forest and make our environment healthier. There will be fun activities like a nature playground, a tree sapling station, an art lab, science demos, and even a birds of prey show, which seems very interesting.
Oh, it seems absolutely interesting. But if you're going out to either that event tomorrow or multiple events today, tomorrow, Worst Fest, there's a few things you need to know, especially if you're going out today and tomorrow. It is going to be toasty. We're talking having that possibility of having record-breaking warmth in November. Normally, we're not used to saying record-breaking heat in November. Now today, we're only expected to stay in the 80s, but near 89 degrees is going to beat our old record that was set back in 2005. Now, the good news is once that sun starts to set, our temperatures quickly cool down into the 70s, even the low 80s. And by tonight, if you're getting done with any sort of high school football events, it'll already be in either the low 70s or even the upper 60s for most of us. But what we're watching is a weather whiplash this weekend and a big cool down. Tomorrow is still going to be another warm day for us in San Antonio. Similar to today, still getting close to that record, but then that cold front comes through Saturday into Sunday, giving us that weather whiplash and that weather roller coaster. Our peak temperatures only expected to be about 67 degrees, but with that, that's going to have that chance of some fire danger. Now that cold front's moving through Saturday night into Sunday, and behind it, we're seeing some stronger winds, 45-mile-an-hour winds being possible. But what we're watching are the winds being from the north, and that's going to allow all of this cooler Canadian and some of that cooler Arctic air, not only feeding down into areas of South Texas, but feeding down into most of us across the country, sitting in the 30s for some folks next weekend. I'll give you a look at the future cast of what you need to know with these cooler temperatures and take another look at that fire danger we can see on Sunday coming up in just a bit.
Thanks so much, Shelby. Well, the family of Savannah Soto is heartbroken and worried about what's next in their fight for justice. She's the pregnant mom who was killed in 2023. For nearly 2 years, we've been tracking this case, and in the last 48 hours, one of the suspects originally arrested walked free. 2 days ago, KSAT was the first to report charges being dismissed for Mirta Romanos. She was accused of helping cover up the murders of Soto, Matthew Guerra, and their unborn child. Last night, Avery Everett spoke with the Soto family just a day after they learned about the update.
What are we looking at here when Christopher does go to trial? You know, are they going to let him go out, or are they going to give him less time, or what? We don't know.
Romano's husband, Ramon Preciado, and her son, Christopher Preciado, were also charged in connection with this case. Ramon is out on bond, but faces 2 charges of abuse of a human corpse and tampering with physical evidence. Christopher is still in jail and faces multiple charges, including capital murder. With Thanksgiving just weeks away, the cost to put together that dinner is a worry for a lot of people, and why there's one more new concern that turkey and egg prices could rise once again. Vibe coding is the Collins Dictionary's word of the year for 2025. Although technically it's 2 words, it's a form of software development that involves using artificial intelligence to turn natural language into computer code. The UK published dictionary chose vibe coding at a time when AI plays an increasing role in our daily lives. Overall, terms that describe our relationship with technology feature prominently on the Collins Dictionary list. The dictionary's word of the year in 2023 was AI.
And what we're watching is that cold front moving through areas of South Texas as there's a little bit of a dip in the jet stream, bringing us much cooler, below average temperatures, not only for Texas, but for most of us in the central portion of the country. While behind it, there's a warm up for the desert Southwest. I'll give you a look at the temperatures of that cold front coming up after the break.
Cases of the bird flu are on the rise again, raising concern about another increase in grocery prices. ABC's Andrea Fujii reminds us the price of turkey this Thanksgiving is already expected to be far higher than last year.
With less than 3 weeks until Thanksgiving, new concern that turkey and egg prices could rise once again. That's because bird flu cases are rising again as more wild birds head south. Within the last month, nearly 70 poultry flocks nationwide have been hit with the virus, killing more than 3.5 million turkeys, chicken, and ducks.
Wild birds are really the carrier for the avian influenza virus, especially migratory waterfowl.
Experts fear the government shutdown and staff cuts at the CDC and Agriculture Department could weaken the federal response. One virologist telling NPR a network of researchers used to be in constant contact with federal agencies to monitor cases, but she says that communication has been scaled back, saying, "We're not in a great position for monitoring things. I'm finding myself in a very uncomfortable place." The number of turkeys in the U.S. has already dropped to its lowest size in nearly 40 years. With limited supply, wholesale turkey prices are up 75% in the last year. Retail prices up about 25%. Egg prices may also suffer, but there are Thanksgiving deals to be had. Walmart says it's lowering the cost of its Thanksgiving meal bundle by 25% this year. And Target is offering a Thanksgiving dinner for 4 for just $20.
Overall, grocery bills are up. Just the price of meat is up. The price of, other commodities are up. And this is why retailers are putting promotions on for Thanksgiving staples earlier than they typically would to help people spread out that spend.
A CDC spokesperson insists they have the staff to respond to any urgent public health threats, even during the government shutdown. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Yeah, with October being so hot, I was almost wondering when we get to Thanksgiving, is it even going to be cool? But I mean, there's hope now because we're seeing one of these cold fronts come through. So we've just got a couple more days to wear your warm outfits.
Yes, hopefully by Thanksgiving you'll be able to wear your Thanksgiving sweaters and your warmer clothing. Today, Courtney, is not going to be one of those days. Today's going to be a short sleeve and a shorts kind of day. Temperatures already sitting at about 80 degrees. Today our peak temperature is supposed to be about 89 degrees, seeing those sunny skies allowing us to warm up so quickly. In fact, having that possibility of beating our old record temperature set back in 2005. Still seeing that chance of some slightly breezy winds, but today is going to be a warm day, and that's the story. Followed by some cooler mornings. What we're watching is that cold front moving through Saturday into Sunday. The cold air really won't impact our Sunday morning temperatures too much, so Sunday morning church services still should be okay despite the wind. It's still going to be breezy, but what we're watching is Monday and Tuesday morning. You might want to go out to your car, maybe start it a few minutes early because it's going to be chilly. We're waking up in the 30s, and this is just the San Antonio temperature. Some folks in the Hill Country might be waking up in the 30s, just not only on Monday, but also on Tuesday. 32 degrees expected in Kerrville, and I have that highlighted in pink specifically because that's what temperature at freezing. 32 degrees Fahrenheit is 0 degrees Celsius, and that is the freezing level. So if you do get below 32, you might see some frost, and you might even see below freezing temperatures. Now, yes, San Antonio is still supposed to be about 37 degrees, but then Tuesday morning is going to be a little chillier for some folks, and it's all because of that cold front moving through. All of that cooler Arctic air up in Canada is expected to make its way closer to South Texas and really to the United States Saturday night into Sunday because there's a little bit of a dip in the upper levels of the atmosphere and that jet stream, and that's going to give us those stronger winds. As you can see, those little wind barbs, but it's also going to give us a chance of some cooler temperatures. This is also known sometimes for some people as the polar vortex, but for us it's just going to give us a few days of some cooler fall-like temperatures. Now, after that cold front moves through Sunday, we're really going to see those breezier conditions Sunday morning, and that cooler air is going to linger until about Tuesday. Then behind that low pressure system, we see that big blue 8. Now, we're not expecting temperatures to be near 90 degrees, similar to what we're seeing today and tomorrow, but the high pressure system is expected to get closer to West Texas, and that's going to give us a little bit of that ridge and those warmer temperatures. Now, by warmer, we mean about maybe some mid to low 80s, so not too much warmer, but still warmer than what we're going to see on Monday, especially because because as we see a little bit of a dip in that jet stream in the other upper atmosphere, we're expecting not only San Antonio to be below average, but we're also expecting other portions of the country, St. Louis, Little Rock, Nashville, even getting to Atlanta to be 15 to even 20 degrees colder than their average temperature. And Tuesday morning, San Antonio still about 37 degrees, but other areas are waking up below freezing. All those colors in pink are below freezing. Minneapolis at 22 degrees, Detroit sitting at about 27. But for us, the cooler air finally leaves about Tuesday afternoon. And we're back Wednesday and Thursday to be waking up what we've been seeing today. The last few days, temperatures still will be warmer once again, getting back on board to the 80s, but otherwise sunnier skies continue as we go into next week. Still sitting a little chilly though Monday and Tuesday morning. Courtney.
All right, thanks so much, Shelby. More than 38 million people in the U.S. live with diabetes, and the CDC says many adults with the disease remain undiagnosed, but early detection and treatment are critical to prevent potentially dangerous medical complications. This noon, the early signs and symptoms of diabetes. As we know, diabetes is a major issue in San Antonio and South Texas, and a 2022 report from UT Health says a third of San Antonians have pre-diabetes. Paying attention to those early warning signs can be critical. So CNN's Mandy Gaither has the early signs and symptoms that you can watch out for.
It's a disease that causes a person's blood sugar to spike because their body can't make or use enough insulin to regulate it. Diabetes is a lifelong condition that can lead to other major health problems.
This is a very serious disease. The problem is people don't always take it seriously.
Dr. Willa Choi with the Ohio State University's Wexner Medical Center says diabetes complications can include cardiovascular disease, kidney damage or failure, and nerve damage. Of the more than 38 million people in the U.S. estimated to have diabetes, around 9 million of them don't know it. Choi says everyone should know early warning signs of the disease, which include frequent urination, extreme thirst, and blurry vision.
If you see those signs, it's very important to address them.
Type 2 diabetes is most often diagnosed in adults, but having a healthy lifestyle can help lower the risk. Choi says that includes avoiding foods that are high in carbohydrates and fat, and having a consistent exercise routine with a combination of cardio and strength training.
Sometimes a physical trainer can be helpful not only in advising about nutrition, but performing the right exercises so you don't hurt yourself.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.